I'm Niki Adams, and I'm here with Neil Adams, and today we're going to comment on the new gi that the IJF are looking to put into circulation. I think for the 2012 Olympic Games, it's a thinner material, bigger sleeves, more crossover, bigger kit all around, and also a new belt. We have Neil to comment on that. What do you think of this, Neil?
I think that what's going to happen is, as with all changes, we have to look at the implications and, you know, the possible scenarios that are going to come from it as far as the rule interpretation is concerned. Because I think what the intentions are is that with the thinner material, obviously more of it, the traditional Japanese grip of sleeve lapel or lapel sleeve is what they would like, you know, for both fighters to have. And, you know, it's going to be like a situation whereas, you know, one person is always going to beat the other one to the grip. And the grip fighters are the ones that, the good grip fighters are the ones that are going to really benefit from this and start to dominate people's jackets and lapels in order to throw.
Can I just ask you, Neil, can we determine what a good grip fighter is, or the superior grip fighters are?
I think that people don't really understand, unless they get hold of somebody that is a world-class grip fighter, that it is a skill within itself. And whether it's a small judogi or whether it's a big judogi, whether it's thin material, thick material, they'll always get the grip that they want. They're, you know, first in there to maneuver their opponent so that they can take their grip. When they get two hands on, that's when they normally attack. I think that the intention is now that both people can get hands on, but you're still going to get a situation where the most skillful grip fighter is going to dominate the jacket and the lapel. And then what you're going to have is you're going to get a strategy then by the coaches, by the opponent's coaches, and also by the the fighters that can't get the grip that they want, and they're going to look from a negative point of view as to what they're going to do to make the other one either look passive or look as if, like for example, the pistol grip. You know, they used to take an arm around or twist it round. And they used to
get the bottom of the sleeve, like a pistol, like a handgun.
Yeah,
grip.
I mean, if they used to take, if the good gripper or the superior gripper, the one with the first grip, used to take the sleeve at the bottom, then the opponent would just twist the wrist around, and it looked as if the other person was taking a pistol grip, and they'd get a penalty. I think you're going to get a lot of that now.
Or a variation thereof.
I think you're going to get a variation thereof, and I think it will develop, it will evolve, and that's what happens with all new rules. They do evolve. I think that the better fighters and the more experienced fighters and the most skillful ones are the ones that will adapt very, very quickly. And they'll look at it from a positive spin rather than a negative spin. I think that, the ones that are being out-gripped will look at it from a negative point of view. And so I think that it's very important that we keep a handle on it. I think that as far as the referees are concerned, I think that their interpretation of this needs to be clear from the very start.
What are the ramifications then of this new gripping technique that probably will evolve, or... You know, what do the referees have to look out for then?
Well, I think that what they need to do, and I think this is a good idea with all the new rules, you know, as we've kind of evolved with the new rules, you know, they've started to work themselves out, and, you know, from a positive point of view, it's looking good. And I think with this, we have to do the same. I mean, we have the new commission now, which is the coaching commission that meets up with the referees commission, and we have a look at particular scenarios that might evolve, and I think that that's important, that we get together and have a look at the possible scenarios with these new judogis, and have a look, see how how it's going to develop.
So what happens then? Like, say, let's take the scenario further. So we've switched it around, made the opponent look like they've got a pistol grip, and so now they're going to get penalized because it's ingrained as an old rule. Pistol grip is not allowed. Judo.
Well, I think, you know, that's one of the things that needs to be looked at. You know, do you penalise for that? Is it going to be penalised? You know, so that a negative spin can't be taken off it. And, you know, what are they going to penalise? You know,
it's going to defeat the purpose of Ippon Judo then.
Well, it will do if they start to penalise, you know, for something that looks like a positive grip or a negative grip, you know, and if it's interpreted in the wrong way, then you could have a situation where, you know, 4 Shidos are handed out and the contest is over. And if that happens at a major competition, that's, you know, defeating the whole objective of Ippon Judo.
But it's just like any rule. People are going, I mean, you are number one for this, really. Any rule, you're going to look to bend it or circumvent it or expose it or
I think you're absolutely right. I think it's all about bending, you know, the rules, and I never broke a rule in my life, but I bent them, you know, and I bent them to the 10th degree, you know, and I think that
just to get that more competitive edge. Anyone's
well, it is, you know, and the thing is you know, that's why the rules are there, and that's why we need to be able to play them, and you know, I think they need to get you know, the spin-off, a lot of the top fighters that are really going to interpret this jacket and use of this jacket. And I think they, you know, need to find out what's in their heads and, you know, or, you know, certainly what would go through my head. I mean, I would just have loved it, you know, a big floppy jacket and lots of material to grab hold of, and it would have played right into my hands.
Well, one example comes to my mind, not so much about the new gi and that, but about the new gripping rules on a whole. I believe it's the Mongolian, that he would lead his opponent's arm just above the lapel, would make it just undeniably attractive to hold on to the lapel, and then that's same side gripping. So then get the penalty. He hasn't, the opponent hasn't thought, oh, I'm going to grip there, knowing it's legal, but he's brought the hand up to the lapel, and to the referee, looks like he's gripped up.
Yeah, and you know, of course, it depends on, you know, what kind of angle the referee's standing at, you know, and you know, of course, they're playing with the you know, possibility of just having one referee there.
Oh no, I can't.
Yeah, well,
I can't go there.
One referee and no line judges, you know, and of course, then you're going to get situations there where you will get fighters that will, you know, turn the opponent and, you know, play that slight.
Strategic game.
Well, a strategic game, you know, and you know what the referee can't see, they can't penalise and things like that.
Well, let's take it to that, because now that goes into our next item about line play, and because we were discussing about how these new rules the new gi might not necessarily promote positive judo, and my example was, remember when they changed the mat area from the meter-wide safety area to just the outer edge, and that it was really put in place to promote positive judo and to keep the game moving. However, again, it evolved not in the way that the IJF wanted to, and mainly went into a negative judo.
Well, I mean,
idea.
Certainly both, and what you've got there is a similar situation. You've got the ones that are very, very skillful, the ones that want to pull their opponent, you know, just throw them in the middle of the mat. And you've got the ones that feel in danger of being thrown, and of course they want to break the contest whenever they feel in danger of being thrown by drifting off towards the edge of the area. And, you know, so that has resulted in the most inconsistent refereeing in the Grand Slams and Grand Prix. That's the one rule, you know, that has not been very consistent. And
so let's just verify the rules, because not everybody may know it to the nth degree, that if play starts within the area and continues outside the area, the referees, that's throw or any kind of maneuver, there's not the stepping out penalty anymore.
Well, no, there is actually, but I mean, the thing is that what happened with it is because we had the the red area, which was the danger area, and of course, if you had 1 foot within the danger, if you had 2 feet in the danger area for 5 seconds, you got a penalty.
Yeah.
And then, if you stepped out, well, then anything could happen, and major contests were lost. And I had a couple of my major competitions, Europeans and things like that were lost on that. So it's very severe. And so what they said was, we'll do without the meter danger area, and we'll just have an edge, as it was in the 60s and 70s. We had the same, but exactly the same thing happened there. People would drift out and they tried to get outside the area. Mates were
hoping
called.
For a mate to
hoping
break
for
the play.
a mate to break the play, and it happened all the time. And of course the contests, that were meant to be kind of it was 5 or 7 minutes then, and they'd go on for almost twice the length of time. And so we're starting to have that in certain situations, certain competitions, certain Grand Prix. That was starting to happen. So now what's happened is that they've told them that give them the benefit of the doubt one time if they start to drift out towards the edge of the area just to break the contest, and now they're penalising them for going out. So we've got a similar situation now as having the safety area, so that one time they can drift out, and the second time that if they're starting to go towards and they know that they're going to get a penalty, they'll start to pull back inside the area. And that's good because we're getting action-reaction again. So, again, that's something that has evolved. It's something that the referees are having to adapt to. And I think that exactly the same situation with the sizings and, the new jacket and the new material. I think that you've got to look at the positives, got to look at the negatives, and you've got to try and assess which way it's going to go and, be ahead of the game and ready for it.
You almost have to think like a burglar. I always say it's like a burglar system, that no matter what burglar system you put in your house, there's always someone who's up to the challenge to circumvent that system. Depends how much they want it, what they want inside your house. So you almost have to think on that side, what are the possible scenarios?
Well, that's exactly it, and, it's all about educating. I mean, it's a lot easier for us to adapt at the higher levels, international levels. A lot of the referees are ex-international fighters that have fought in Worlds and Olympics. So they know what it's like to grip fight, and, they interpret it in a different way. When you start to come back down to national level or area levels, they can only look at the rule book and try and interpret it the best way they can. And so you get a different interpretation at the lower levels. So we can only try and educate and try and prepare them for, use our experience to prepare them for what is going to happen. And hopefully we can get a hold of this and be prepared for it before it happens.
Oh, it's not an easy job, referee. I have to say, I've had my run-ins with referees in the past, but I wouldn't want to be one now. I mean, every tournament there seems to be a new directive and a new instruction. So, power to you, referees.
Well, exactly. I mean, they haven't got an easy job. And, the thing is with all rule changes, whenever you change rules, then they're open for interpretation. I think that now that we've got a situation where we can get some of the best players, best referees together and discuss certain situations, we can have a look at
Has to be an open forum.
I think it has to be an open forum, and then, it's all about, what can be, how we can make it positive. And that's the main key. So,
you're off to Japan. So what can our next blog, what can we look forward to for your next blog?
Well, I'm off to Japan, and as we
China?
and Qingdao, China as well, and it's all about accumulating points. And I think that our next blog, what we can do is discuss how the point situation is going to evolve and change over the next year, 12 months, because it's going to be a race for points. People are going to be trying to qualify. I think one of the big points is that I've just heard that there's 2 people per category in the European Championships now. I've discussed having 2 in the World Championships, 2 in the European Championships, how that's going to benefit anybody. It only benefits the countries that can put 2 people out.
The people that have depth for the countries that have
I think so. And
I
I think that as far as judo and development is concerned, it certainly doesn't benefit the smaller countries, and it certainly doesn't benefit each continent as they're trying to qualify. And I'd like to go into that into more depth and just to explain why.
Excellent. And we're also looking at the Masters tournament in Azerbaijan
Yeah.
after that. And I mean, these next two tournaments, Japan and Qingdao, are big point tournaments. So the top 16 only get to go to this Masters.
It's
So
a different
that might
Masters.
just change.
It's not the veteran Masters,
No.
but it's the Masters. You know, with top 16 from each weight category have to fight, and they have to fight. So big tournament, and this coming year is going to be all about qualification and how we do it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Neil, and we look forward to your Japanese and Chinese report.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.